Hi everyone, this is Anime Soirée, and today we're going to be talking about the conclusion to Doctor Stone Season 2 Stone Wars. It's good. It's really good. It's so good that I'm super excited for Season 3. In this season, we basically just wrap up the conflict between Senku and Tsukasa, and they basically struggle for power, science versus brawn, and Senku ends up winning, basically. Tsukasa did show some remorse for his actions, and there was an underlying goal of his to save his little sister, so we all felt bad for him. And, he wasn't as bad as his actions had shown. And he even helped assist in the recreation of all the stone statues he shattered. So Tsukasa went from full on bad guy to full on good guy, and he almost dies, and Senku has a plan to fix him, and it's not as important. But anyway, basically, everyone's united at this point, and I guess the next jarring question is, why are we here? How did the stonification of the entire world even take place? And that's what I'm going to assume is going to happen in season 3, because we really tied up all the knots. Like, everyone's together, everyone's vibing, they're making like a giant stone city together. Both sides were working together, and I couldn't think of a better, or I guess maybe not better, but like more clean ending to this season. No one died, and they jailed Tsukasa's underling, who tried to basically screw over everyone. What is his name?
Yoga.
Hyoga, thank you. So yeah, like it's basically like looking perfect right now for them. So I don't know. How'd you guys feel about the season?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I really liked the stuff that they did with Tsukasa at the end, just because for me, he never felt like that mustache twirling, completely evil guy. Like he always kind of seemed pretty reserved about his stuff. So seeing him have like that whole event with his sister and like kind of get a redemption, I thought it was awesome. And like I'm really excited for them going forward because like the co-op aspect of it and like them figuring out this bigger goal is really cool and like it's more of an interesting premise to me than like PvP type of conflict. So yeah, I'm really excited. There are some really awesome moments that I'm sure we'll get into like specifically, but yeah, great season 2.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like where I'm like excited about where the show is going from here. I mean, full disclosure, I've read the manga. I was caught up at one point. I There have been a lot more chapters that have come out since, but I at least know what's going to happen in the next season. Um, and like, yeah, I mean, I definitely think that um, this was like a good way to wrap up the Tsukasa like conflict, which like when set up in season one was like some of my favorite stuff. Um, and I don't think that this like brings like a ton of like new ideas to the table in terms of like fleshing out the conflict, but like the way that it resolves it is satisfying and good. And like Will was saying, I love what sets up for. And now that like there's not really a force that's opposing us, we can kind of like get to work on actually rebuilding society, which is like Senku's stated goal from the very beginning. So that is a good direction, and I can say that like the manga only gets better. So yeah, like good stuff to come in season three.
I really just like the structure of how it ends in season 2. This proposed solution of, having Jen be this famous American singer and basically trick all of Tsukasa's camp into believing that the United States has come to save them. And then basically just running with that lie, right? Just kind of getting all those people off, I guess, caught off guard, and maybe just somehow convince them from there that that they should join the Nation of Science. But there's a lot of hiccups along the way, and the plan always changes. And that's like, I feel like really really smart for this show, because it forces Senku to think on the spot and use like whatever he can around him to come with a solution. He used nitroglycerin to make these bomb paper planes that basically threaten, I'm going to blow everyone up. So then it forces them to compromise, and then there's another issue later on where Tsukasa, part of the compromise is they have to save his sister, and they do. And then his underling, what was his name again? Hyoga.
Hyogo, yeah.
Hyoga. That guy basically attempts to kill his sister, and then Tsukasa ends up putting himself in harm's way, and it basically causes Senku to think on his feet again to save Tsukasa from Hyuga, and he uses like this battery charged I guess igniter, and it's basically like a stun gun, and then it stuns him. And I just like how they kind of always put Senku in compromising situations, and then he always has to think and react in a satisfying, cool, sciency way. And I just love that formula for him. It's just fun to watch.
Yeah, I think that is probably the scene that stuck out to me the most. Like that whole fight scene at the very end with Senku and Tsukasa versus Hyoga. Like that scene was fucking awesome. Like when you get the second OP from season 1 that starts playing during it, like holy shit, that was so hype for me watching it. And like that whole fight was just really well done. And I mean, I guess if I had to choose one thing to gripe about the season is that we really did not see a lot of Hyoga. So like them kind of just saying at the very end, like, oh yeah, Hyoga's like the new guy that you need to be worried about. Like, I guess it could have been built up a bit more, but like it's not like a huge gripe at all. Like
Yeah.
I never lost any sleep over it.
Does
I
he
kind of
have
agree
a
because I think that like
backstory?
the way that Tsukasa is set up in like season 1 as like basically like the perfect foil to Senku, like in terms of their like ideals and stuff. And like we get a very good sense of like where Tsukasa is coming from, like on like his moral standpoints and everything like that. Um, we don't really get as much with like Hyoga, so I don't love him as much as I love Tsukasa as a villain. But yeah, I mean it's not a huge deal.
Do we have a backstory on Hyuga? What's his deal?
I think
We
that
don't
was in
really have
season
one.
1 when he was attacking the camp. I can't exactly remember, but I definitely think they did give him some kind of backstory. I don't think it was something super in depth, like they didn't get any flashbacks or
It's
anything,
definitely
but
not like on the level of
it
Tsukasa.
was
Yeah,
like
I
the
literally
ones they
don't.
give like everyone else, where it's like, oh, this guy was like a police guy who was good at the baton. This guy was a submarine officer. This guy was a gymnast. Like it was kind of like one of those, I think. Um,
Yeah.
It's kind of a side note. I just thought it was hilarious when they attacked with the tank, and then the journalist girl was just like running away, and like, dude,
yeah.
her like boobs were bouncing everywhere, and like she just came off as like such a ditz, and I just thought she was really funny.
I thought she was great. Like we literally like posed the question last time we had an episode. They're like, how do they know about the submarine guy? Like, what the fuck? And then they like actually answered that later on. They were like, yeah, this journalist person did a story on him. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that was
That
smart.
was awesome.
I
And like
do.
that's like his like how Sukasa gets information on these people. Like how he knows they have special things. Like she's done stories on people. So that
I,
was pretty cool.
I'm a little. I don't really like some of the female design. I mean, like their bodies, whatever, like that's fine. Like that's standard across anime for like them to be a little bit more than they probably should be. But like their face designs, their eyes are very far apart and their eyes are very low. And it's like I've seen that kind of style in anime before, and they just look alien to me. I don't like a lot of the female face designs. It's not as bad as some like Kohaku. Like she looks like okay, but Yuzihara and that
Wait, you think
journalist.
Kohaku looks okay? I feel like Kohaku's the one that's got the widest
I
eyes.
don't know. Sometimes it looks okay. It just depends on the shot. I'll say that. Okay, for every character, some shots they look okay, some shots they don't look good, and I just make them look more normal. I think that would be good.
I mean, that's like probably just going off the. You can't really blame the anime for that. Wouldn't that be just like the manga though?
Oh, well, sure. Then the manga artist, like, how about make your girls look less like aliens?
Yeah.
Someone
I
made
think
the design
Griffin
choice.
Griffin, I think you might just be gay. I don't know. Like the girls are all really hot. No, I mean like I don't know. That's just fair, I guess, it's preference. But I mean I like them. I think they're hot as shit, but whatever.
Yeah, Griffin, what the hell?
I mean, I think
What do
parts
you
of.
think, Will? Do
I
you think
like
they're
big
good?
boobs.
I love it when they're flying around.
I like that part. That part's cool. We know what part I'm talking about. It's the face.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but
Also,
that's I don't know.
a lot
If
of
we're talking
anime
about
like
season
don't
2,
have
like that
girls
was
with
a thing in
big
season 1
butts.
too. So
A lot of shows don't have girls with big butts in anime, but I would say that like most of these girls definitely have
Yuzihara
tiny little
definitely does.
really
Oh my god, bro. They need to fucking chill. I'm just trying to watch his
yeah.
show.
No, I mean like this like Boichi, the guy who draws the manga like used to draw like porn. So
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
that makes sense. Okay.
Um,
yeah.
I really liked what's his face? God, what's his name? The original friend, Taiju. I liked his inclusion towards the end. Like it's, I felt like up to a point he like wasn't doing a whole lot, but then like he like does the shield charge at the very end and like does like the super loud scream at the very end. So I was glad that Taiju actually got some like spotlight for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
And I
makes
did
sense
think
that
the
like
scream
during
thing
the
was kind of weird,
combat
but
arc,
yeah, the scream thing
yeah,
was
that
a
was
bit weird, but whatever.
yeah.
yeah, the
I
scream.
mean, basically just in this show, like people have superpowers, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
they don't actually have superpowers, but like everybody has like something. Like all of like the combat people have like something that makes them like way more powerful than like anybody else in like their specific
yeah.
thing.
Like
And that's just an
Sukasa being a
anime
lion,
thing,
and like he talks
Yeah.
about like how he fought a gorilla and like he fights a lion, like fights multiple lions. Like he's definitely a superhuman.
And then
Yeah, yeah.
Ukiyo, who probably has the most reasonable one, but still like he just has like immaculate hearing, I guess, which I guess is like
Yeah,
possible, but I don't know. It seems like he gets a lot of information from sounds.
yeah. I
Um
think it's fine because I like the kind of like theme that like the story has of like everyone being able to contribute something, you know? Like in this show, like Yuzuriha at certain points is like more valuable than anyone else because of like her like crafts and stuff like that. And like she
Yeah,
is able to like actually craft things that like other people can't do. So like I like and like they even employ like child labor at certain points because like they have like small hands that are able to
yeah.
like make really tiny things. So like I appreciate like the message of the show that like everyone has a purpose and like the superpowers like I don't really care because it's just anime and like that
Except for
is
old people that they all left behind at the village.
yeah. Well, there is one based old dude who
Yeah,
Kaseki
what's
is
his
literally
face?
like
The
the best. Yeah.
Kaseki. He
Yeah,
was
Kaseki's
extremely
really
based.
cool. Yeah.
um
I love how like
what was
show
that
goes.
fucking
He's like
yo guy doing, bro? That guy just
Comedy relief, it
yo
looks like.
what was he even
yo.
doing, bro? And then
It's
so they did they infer that he stole the dynamite?
I think so.
And then so he blew up the miracle cave, right? So they don't have any more nitric acid.
Well, I mean, I feel like the whole miracle cave thing is just like the reason it's a miracle cave is because there's like bat guano. Like it's like a specific situation of that cave, but like I feel like they could easily find another cave that has that because like all you have to do is find a cave that like bats have lived in, right?
hmm
So like it's like a problem, but like just like a minor setback because it can't be like that hard to find another cave that's got bat guano in it, right?
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
So I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. They just set it up to be like a big thing, and then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
I
I
was
mean, it's
just
it's
like,
kind of annoying. Like it definitely like doesn't help, but it's not like it's not the end of the world. It's not like they can't revive anyone else because people are gonna get revived. That's for
I liked Senku's solution to fixing Tsukasa though. That was smart, and it was
sure.
just
Yeah,
like the most practical way to go about it. And it was kind of
yeah.
interesting because he kind of like swapped places with his sister.
Like for a show that like does a lot of science, like cryogenic sleeping is like not a thing, or else we would actually use it in real life. Because
Well, I
I don't
mean,
know.
people. I think that we just don't have a way to like thaw them and be fine. But like, there are people who are cryogenically frozen. We just like don't have the means to unthaw them yet.
But are they okay?
We
We
don't
don't
Like
like.
we have
That's
to
the
know.
thing.
find a
We
way.
literally don't
We
know.
froze them without a way to like unthaw them safely, but we don't know. Maybe there isn't a way to unthaw them safely. Like
Yeah, maybe the only way to like to cryogenically like uh make people go to cryogenic sleep is like if you do some special preparation when you thaw them, and it's like then those people are just screwed.
exactly.
So I mean, it's just a gamble. I mean,
It seems
like
like a
honestly,
weird
like
approach.
if I had like a lot of money and like I had like some disease that we didn't have a cure for now, like why not put yourself in cryogenic sleep? Because it's like a chance to survive versus like literally like no like for sure dying. Like
It's a gamble
I would
for
take
sure.
yeah. But if you have nothing to lose, like if you're like literally gonna die in like the next like year or something, like I might do that.
Yeah, I would definitely get cryogenically frozen. And like, you're saying that they don't have a way to revive you, but like they do in the show.
They do, yeah,
Do
because
they?
they
They
Oh, I
have
mean
the
they
basically,
have it.
well,
potential
because like
to.
they can you're assuming that we're assuming that like the healing, the same thing that like unpetrifies people would be able to do it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there is some like magic, I guess, in that. Like it's not 100% scientific.
Yeah.
Um, I would say it's like I don't think it's like a huge deal. Like it's a little annoying, but it's not a huge deal because it's just part of the premise of the show. So um, you have to like there has to be a certain amount of suspension of disbelief whenever you present anything that's like different from like 100% reality. And like I feel like if it's the premise, that's fine.
One thing that's interesting is Sokka's sister, right? What was it? She was in a coma since she
You mean
was like,
Katara?
no, Tsusaka. Tsukasa. Holy
Sukasa.
shit,
You
bro.
gotta say
Dude,
Sukasa.
I'm sorry that my brain was wired incorrectly and you guys are super
You were
geniuses.
doing so well up until now.
It's because I was remembering it, I wasn't reading it. Tsukasa, his sister is like 12, right? But she's been in a coma since she was 6. So that's interesting, right? So she has like the mind of a 6-year old. And I was just
Yeah.
thinking, like, what if you were in a coma when you were like 1 or 2, and then you were like 30, and they let you out? You just have the mind of a 1 or 2 year old, but the body of a 30-year old. That would be crazy.
I'm not
I
sure how
don't
that
know.
works. You'd have to
I
look up
literally,
and
yeah, I have no idea.
I can't say much about that topic.
Um,
Yeah.
It would
uh,
be
I'm not
interesting.
even gonna
You're
try.
right.
Maybe your brain like
Maybe that's
has
what happened to
developed
me because I can't
certain things.
pronounce Tsukasa.
Like there might be certain brain developments that like don't need interaction, like your brain just getting bigger and stuff. But like if you literally were one, you wouldn't know how to talk. They would definitely have to teach you how to talk.
Yeah.
No, unless they like did that well, because they say that like you can like remember things that happened when you were in a coma. So maybe if they like really tried, they could like
Oh,
teach someone how,
that's
like
bad news for Asuka then. Jesus.
yeah, yeah, she knows.
Asuka?
Not this show, the other one.
Oh,
Yeah, this one.
Eva.
He's
Oh.
the main bad guy in Doctor Stone. It's Asuka.
Oh yeah, that yep. The mecha. Where's the mecha though?
I mean, we get a tank.
Oh yeah, Tank. Tank was cool. Dude, Senku's
Tank was really
smart.
cool. I like the scene at the end where they're just like, "Yeah, let's charge forward. We know there's tank traps, but fuck it."
Yeah.
I love.
Literally just keep moving forward. Tatake.
I don't know. A lot of the inventions this season, it didn't seem like it was as invention heavy, but that might just because it was half a season compared to the other one. But I thought they were pretty great.
I was a
I
little
agree. I think there's like
confused.
less inventions. I mean, because like the the last season we spent a lot of time in the village doing inventing.
We back
Um,
in the mine.
and like now there's less inventing and more just like the conflict playing out, which I kind of miss inventing a little bit, but yeah, like there's not as much of that in this. I would say this season is more just like, all right, this conflict, we're gonna resolve it now, and like it's interesting how they do it, but less inventions, that's for sure.
Um, when Senku was like, "We have 20 seconds to take out this attack, or else they're gonna retaliate." I was like, "Oh shit! Like, is it gonna be like a surprise attack, and is he gonna just expect them all to surrender?" And then they like attacked them, and like they retaliated anyway. And I was just like, "What's the point of the 20 seconds then?" Like, I don't understand what doing it really fast did because it looked like they fought back the whole time.
Yeah, there were definitely some like questionable like tactics, I guess, that was happening. Definitely not like the strength of the show, like the battle tactics that are going on.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Um,
kind of excited for them to like move away from the whole person conflict
yeah,
thing.
yeah, I like 100% agree. Um, but like I appreciate that like the conflict itself, like I like Sukasa as a villain, so I'm like, and obviously I like our boys, like I like Senku and Chrome and everyone.
Yeah.
So I'm invested in the conflict, but like the actual like nuts and bolts of like how it goes down is not always great. Sometimes it's like makes you raise an eyebrow a bit. So yeah, I agree. I'm excited for more like societal development as opposed to like conflict and war.
Yep,
I agree.
for sure. Other things, I thought the OP was just okay, not as good as the first season for sure.
Yeah, I
First
listened
season
to
had
it one
two
time
bomb ass OPs.
and then I skipped it, so I was like, it's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, the background music in the show is good though.
yeah, for sure. Pretty hype, especially like at the scene I mentioned earlier. Like that scene was like one of the more hype scenes I've seen in anime recently, and I was not expecting that from Doctor Stone. Um,
Yeah,
Definitely not from Doctor Stone. It was pretty hype.
I
I mean
liked.
Doctor Stone can be pretty hype. Like it's just in a different way than a lot of other anime.
Yeah,
It's like it has like the soul. Like it's still a shonen series, but it's just very different because it's like about inventions and stuff. But it still has like the soul of a shonen, with like the getting let's get fired up and like
yeah.
do what needs to be done. And
Hmm.
yeah,
I think it
still
it
pretty
might
hype.
be stronger than most shonen, to be honest. And I just feel like there's so much creative thinking on the fly and so much um, application of like a variety of team members, uh, as opposed to like one or two like really strong dudes just like beating the shit out of someone. So I honestly think this is
Yeah,
better than most shonen I've seen.
I agree. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Yeah, yeah. Like I think it's like a significantly. I mean, honestly, I kind of think that like this season is like is still better than most shonen, but I would say that this season doesn't necessarily play to like the strengths of the show, just like as we were talking about, like more about like uh making more inventions and developing the society that's happening in like the stone world, as opposed to like just conflict. So I would say that like but I'd say Dr. Stone at its best is like a great shonen, it's
Yep.
like yeah.
The training arcs are literally them making inventions, which is pretty hype.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so good to just see like the incremental progress and like how like when we like use an old invention to like make a new one,
Yeah.
like then it's like yeah, we're like building on the foundation that was set before, and that's just like that's kind of the point that the show is making about science is that like you're just standing on the shoulders of all
Science
of the trial and error that went
rules.
before you.
Yeah, I feel like a big problem with shonen, and only a few of them are able to nail it. It's just like the progress is hard to quantify and hard to understand. It's like usually like some sensei comes in and he's like, I have a special technique for you to learn. And then they like try it 3 times and then they fail. And then the fourth time they get it. And you're like, yes. But in here, Senku is like, okay, we need to gather X, Y, and Z to make these things and then put them together. And this is how we're going to use it. And then they do that. And you understand, top to bottom, unless it's like a really complicated, invention. But like the way they described like the tank engine, I was like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like I completely follow.
Uh-huh.
It's just a lot easier to play along with the progress that they make and like, really feel like they earned everything. Where I feel like in some shonen, Dragon Ball Z in particular, it's just like I just gotta get stronger, bro. I just gotta power up right now. And I'm just gonna be powerful. I'm gonna be more powerful right now. Just you wait. And it's just not as satisfying.
Yeah, I mean like I think that like the core appeal of shonen, like if I were to like I mean, obviously there's like a lot of things, but like I think that the core appeal is like watching characters progress and get stronger. And yeah, like you were saying, the show does a really good job of that, just like in general with the inventions. And like it makes sense because that's like part of the themes of the show is that like, you know, uh the progress is like dependent on what's happened in the past. And so like it is definitionally incremental. So
And I,
makes it satisfying to watch.
and I just like that like every team member can really have like a hand in the technology. And like a
Uh-huh.
shonen, like, a Gon and Q will get really strong. But like, the strength that they bring to the table doesn't directly like help people like oh god, what's his name? The doctor guy.
Leorio?
Leorio. Like it doesn't like Leorio. Like if he was in a fight with Gon and Killua, like in the Chimera Anarch, like he would just be like, I am outclassed, outmatched. There's nothing I can do to help here. But like if Senku
Right.
brings like a really powerful invention to light for his group, like they can all contribute to building it. They can all like use it just as effectively, more or less. So it feels a lot more like a team dynamic and a lot more like human. even, and I guess that's where a lot of the satisfaction of the show comes from for me.
I feel like that's just not his specialty though. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know. For when it comes to like training arcs for shonen, I feel like Hunter x Hunter is like better than a lot of the other ones. Like
Oh yeah, Greed Island is like the perfect training arc.
Greed Island's a good training arc, and then also in the Chimera Ant arc, I love the fact like they have like a really good portion of the arc them training with Knuckle and Shoot, and like at the end of it, they're just not strong enough, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Anyway,
cool. You know what I'm saying though? Like I just feel like their work that they put in has like a more widespread utility, and I
yeah.
think it's satisfying to see
Because it's
that.
about building a society as
Yeah.
opposed to like achieving the one dreams of like one little kid. So
They should
it has
make
a more global goal, I guess, a large scale thing.
they should make like a shonen that's like kind of the same fundamental concepts as Doctor Stone, in terms of like everyone working together to make like, you know, all of their tools stronger, and they should make that into like a really hype like mecha shonen where like one guy like builds the leg, one leg, and then the other guy does the other leg, and then one guy does the head, and then they all work together, you know, something like that.
It could be cool.
Maybe.
I'm down for more team based shonen.
And that's like a big gripe
like
I have with Alana Shonen. Like, what is JoJo's is a really good example. Because it's always like one or two stand users versus the enemy. You rarely see the full squad pulling up. You know what I mean? They're like in part
but,
5,
like-
they're like sipping lattes on the side, like half of them, and then one guy gets like pulled away, and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm fighting right now."
But honestly, I kind of think that's like, I think that like the most interesting kind of like fight in a shonen is a one-on-one, just because
Yeah.
you get to like really dig into like, okay, like this person's power, like we're gonna learn about it, and like I'm gonna like figure out how to beat it with my power, as opposed to like if it was like a team fight, there might be certain characters that just like get sidelined and like don't
Well,
have as
that's
much to
just
do
the
because they're like,
manga. That's just the manga creator's fault for not making like a balanced
okay, but like
team.
I'm what I'm saying is that like I don't, they're just like, it's just, it's too hard. Like there are no good examples of like shonen that are like about team fights. Like it's
Doctor
just like,
Stone.
but no, it's not about fighting. Like Doctor Stone is not about like fighting.
It's about the
Like-
internal fight for society, for the human race.
Well, like okay, but like then you could say that like there are a lot of like shonen where like the internal fight.
I was kind of memeing when I said that, Kyle. I was memeing.
Okay.
That was a
well,
meme.
I'm just saying, like
let's
I think
let's,
that like
move
one-on-one.
away from
No,
the,
no, this is
the
important.
meta
This is
discussion
important.
of shonens and save that for the shonen
One final
meta
note.
analysis.
One final note. I think they're both important. That's right. I think having individual showcases is just as important as having a moment where the entire squad gets together and gets to work together to tackle.
That's literally true, Griffin, and that's why you should read One Piece.
That is.
Piece,
I'll get
let's
to it.
go.
I've been about to have a month
guys
off,
see it
so
Like
Griffin
Will, like
on the
literally,
next-
like weren't we
on the
just
next
talking in
episode
like the
of our
most
One
recent
Piece
episode
podcast.
about how like there was like a great team fight and like it was great.
all right, maybe
The
I'll
way
read.
One Piece
I
does, like, team
will.
fights and splitting up characters is fantastic.
I will read One Piece at one point. I'm just a lazy person.
1 point. Sounds good.
Okay. Well, what were you dying to talk about?
I wasn't dying to talk about anything. I was just getting tired. I was getting tired of talking about the meta of shonens on like.
It's
like, getting
relevant.
really in depth into it.
It's relevant to Doctor Stone.
I mean, it's relevant, but not relevant enough to take over the entire podcast.
It's my podcast, Will.
I agree. I think we save that when we're doing a more meta analysis of shonens and not.
We'll be sure not to invite you on that episode. Anyway, I don't know. Well, yeah, you actually have to think of something to talk about now.
I mean, I wanted to move towards like what we are expecting for the future. Like Kyle has already read it, but like
Yeah,
I'm pretty
so-
excited because they show like a character at the end, like that's petrified or whatever, and they're moving towards their One Piece arc. Like this is all the prologue set up. They're going towards a One Piece. They're doing an ocean arc. It looks like. So I'm pretty excited for that.
So I should just stop reading Doctor Stone or watching Doctor Stone and watch One Piece.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Why
like,
not both?
I mean, what I'm saying, Griffin, is you
Well,
don't
well,
have
no,
to
no.
do
You
that.
read One Piece in the time between now and the next season.
Well, you don't. No, you don't even have to do that because Doctor Stone's got you covered. The next arc looks like it'll just. You don't even need to read One Piece if you watch the next arc of Doctor Stone.
No, no, that's not true. That's not true. You still need
but yeah, no, like the future of the show is as bright as Senku's shiny green hair.
Yeah,
It
I agree.
is. It's
For sure.
looking good. The anthology. Am I using that word correctly? Let's find out from the rest of
No.
the sentence. The
No, I don't
anthology.
think so.
Who knows? The anthology of the rest of the show and like the backstory, basically what I was trying to say. It's exciting. How do we get here? Senku's gonna figure that shit out. I think aliens, without a doubt, or God. Maybe
Or
an alien.
God. The end of the end of like the science show is just science versus God.
It has to be God.
I think if I had to put my money on a theory right now, it'd just be some crazy scientist. Like, I feel like that would be a good fitting ending because, like, you were talking like how good science is, and like if the main antagonist was some wild ass crazy scientist, like that, like was like it looked like it could have been Senku in the future, just like taking a different path. Like, I think that'd be a pretty good ending, and like the fact that like it only freezes like doves and humans, like that's a pretty good explanation for that because he was experimenting on the doves or birds, I guess, in general. Um,
um,
so like that's a pretty good
But no
explanation.
time travel, please.
Aliens seems like it could be decent. As aliens would be better than a god, you know.
what's that
Yeah,
Alex
no,
I
Jones
mean,
meme where I'm in the early stages of a self-aware extermination system or something like that? I don't know what the entire quote is. That's it.
wait,
That's
what'd you
the
say,
plot.
Kyle? Before that,
I don't remember what do you remember what the context was?
you literally just said it like 2 seconds ago. As long as it's not something, I can't remember what it was.
Oh, as long as it's not time travel.
Oh
Oh
yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
I think the worst thing they could do would be going into a direction that was like pseudoscience and like or like
Yeah.
future
I mean, there's
science.
going to be some like of that, like just because this doesn't exist, like there is nothing that would petrify things and then like
Oh yeah, I
magically
guess
allow
that makes
them.
sense.
So like it's not going to be a perfect scientific explanation, but I do have faith that there will be some like scientific like ish. Like it won't be real, but it will like at least
Yeah,
be grounded in science. Like
and as long as they hold true to their own rules that they establish, I will be satisfied.
Um,
yeah.
if we're giving actual predictions now, I would probably say that the Earth is retaliating against humans to some degree. Either some individual is monitoring the status of Earth and saying, "Oh, these humans are fucking up. Time to hit the reset button," or Earth itself is sentient and was like, "I'm sick with
The
these
population got to
I
a
humans."
know how I
million, and
feel about sentient Earth.
It's
the population
probably
got to a million, and
former.
the spiral extermination.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
it is the spiral nemesis.
it's I honestly think it's somewhat similar to that. Yeah.
No, I think the Earth retaliating, like some kind of sentient Earth, is just as bad as a god.
Nah, I think it's
Yeah,
actually in the
I
One
think that
Piece universe, and they're the last piece.
It's actually the coveted second piece, the two piece.
yeah, dude, I can't wait till One Piece ends and we get Two Piece. And we're just gonna be like, oh shit, another 20-year long series. Epic.
Wouldn't it? Would they change it to two pieces?
No, it would just be Two Piece. It would actually be like Oda's dream manga because it would be about girls in bikinis the entire time because it's Two Piece.
Oh,
Oda's not about the leotards.
Yeah, no.
he clearly doesn't know that showing less is really more.
Yeah. Yeah, Oda definitely does not know that.
Yeah.
Neither does Boichi for Dr. Stone. I would say that there's a similar philosophy. I mean, we talked about earlier that one of the core appeal of shonen is character progression and growth, but honestly, another not a core appeal, but another one is hot girls because all successful shonen have
Not
hot
according to
girls.
Griffin.
I think we're on a prime trajectory.
Except for well, I don't know. Except for JoJo, I guess. JoJo has like no girls.
I mean,
Not until the next book.
got an equally powerful substitute, my friend. Big
I think what we learned in
boys.
this podcast is that Griffin is gay.
You know what? Thinking about sexuality, I think we're in a prime trajectory to a beach episode for Dr. Stone. So might have some buns and breasts in the future.
Science be the. I'm trying to think of the science that they would introduce just for the beach episode. It'd be like sunscreen or something.
Oh, dude, smart. That'd be cool. Kyle, can you confirm or deny if there's a beach episode?
Nope.
Wait, no, you can't confirm or deny, or there is not a beach episode.
I can't confirm or deny.
Oh, that makes me think there is a beach episode,
That
Kyle.
makes me think
So
there's definitely a beach episode.
yeah, thank you, Kyle, for the information you very directly gave us.
We'll see. Only time will tell.
I mean,
they are going to be on the water pretty soon.
I just feel like everything has calmed down. That little girl, it's going to be kind of like a My Hero Academia moment with the little unicorn girl. And they're going to be like, you've never been to the beach? And then they're going to take her to the beach. And it's going to be
Well,
for
yeah,
the little
because
girl.
Tsukasa would never take her to the beach because of all the what happened at the beach. The horrible Tsukasa. Like Tsukasa hates the beach. Now that Tsukasa's out of the picture, the beach is fair game, baby.
Exactly.
Tsukasa just didn't want to see him to be seen without his fucking his loincloth.
Looks like I'm not the only one with a speech impediment tonight. Let's go.
Well, I think we've known that for a long time.
Ukuyo is cool. He's playing both sides, so he always comes out on top. And
it seemed like he was favoring a certain side towards the end there, though.
Yeah, I know, but he was hesitant. He was like, I'm gonna dip my toe, and
I thought that was kind of silly. Like, what is he gonna do? One person dies, like accidentally. He's gonna say, "Nope, sorry, can't join you."
I mean, it's about the principle.
Yeah, but like, it's all about the.
Yeah, but you're right though. It's like, oh, dude, you let one guy die. Tsukasa killed like 1,000 people, so I'm gonna go back to him. Yeah. You stupid asshole. Didn't really have any leverage there. It's like, okay, if you want to be on the murdering team, go for it, bro. You're like 12.
Yep.
And we got to see the miniature old people for a second when they got the call. Freaked me out. They're like 3 feet tall.
I mean, at least they're consistent.
True. They're all very small.
What's his face is also very small.
Kaseki,
yeah.
Yeah, but he's wide as hell.
He's buff. Griffin's like, God damn, Kaseki's kind of a snack.
I mean, he's honestly a pretty good-looking grandpa, despite being like.
I mean, dude, I hope I look. Dude, if I look like Kaseki when I'm that old, like, holy shit.
If I'm as functional as Kaseki when I'm that old, yes, please. Like, he's like a.
Yeah, but
if I could just kiss Kaseki one time. Oh, give him a footstool and.
Anyway, good season. Really
yeah,
liked
good season.
Looking forward to the next season.
Maybe
Any other final thoughts from anybody?
I like this show a lot. Way more than any other show that I'm watching that has not currently finished airing right now.
Way more than like Beastars or something?
Yeah, infinitely better than Beastars. Beastars is good though.
I agree.
The show just has
say it's better, but Beastars is also good. Like
this one is just infinitely better. Will.
Okay. I mean, you're entitled to that.
Right now, if I were to rank Beastars, it would be like a 6. If I were to rank Dr. Stone, I'd probably give Dr. Stone a 9. And if I were to rank Promised Neverland, I'd probably give Promised Neverland a 2.
Okay.
Epic Neverland moment.
Infinitely better than quantifies it.
I'm sorry that you aren't aware of the English language and oh my god, I know where you fuckers live, bro. Holy shit. Oh my god, I'm sorry. After 3 straight podcasts, my language tends to fall apart. Okay, I'll
fried after the.
Yeah.
If this podcast seems loopy, we're not on drugs. We're just kind of talked out. And on that note,
there's a limit to the gift of gab.
Yeah. And this note.
And on that note,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I'm ready to. Any closing remarks beyond whatever we said?
I'm excited for the next season.
Yeah, the best character is coming.
Kaseki's coming.
No, no. Best character is going to be introduced in the next season.
That's less exciting. But we'll take it.
Yeah.
All right. If that's that, go ahead and follow us on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Spotify, and coming soon, OnlyFans. And
Based.
if that's that, then I think we're done here.
Peace.